Let me ask you a brutal question. Are you still waking up as the same weak, excuse-making version of yourself from last year? Because if you are, you're already behind. Growth doesn't wait for permission, it steamrolls comfort. Either you evolve or you decay. Are you evolve or you decay? Period. You don't get to be legendary by staying who you were. You don't get to rise while clinging to old habits, toxic friends, or small thinking. If you want to become someone new, someone unstoppable, you must force yourself to kill the old version of you. This video is your wake-up call. Buckle up. Stop romanticizing who you used to be. That version of you, the one who partied more than they planned, who said they wanted success but didn't follow through, who talked big but moved small, is done. Finished. Dead weight. And if you don't burn that person to the ground, they will drag every ounce of your potential down with them. You can't build $1 million life with a $10 mindset. You can't become the future you by clinging to the habits, people, and thoughts of your past self. That version of you is built for survival. This version of you, it's meant to dominate. You need to stop looking back with soft eyes. The past isn't something to worship, it's something to learn from, then outgrow. Every time you say, I used to be so motivated, or I was in better shape back then, or I used to be more confident, you're reinforcing an identity that no longer exists. That's like trying to drive forward while staring into the rearview mirror. Eventually, you're gonna crash. Understand this, nostalgia is the enemy of growth. It tricks you into staying the same because it makes the past feel safe, but that comfort is poison. And if you don't kill it, it will kill your future. You want to evolve? Then stop idolizing the old you. That person couldn't handle what you're about to become. That person couldn't take the pressure, the discipline, the sacrifice required for the next level. That person settled for distractions. They believed that one day things would magically change without realizing the truth. Nothing changes unless you do. And change means destruction. It means tearing down the walls of who you were so you can rebuild someone stronger, someone sharper, someone who doesn't flinch at pain, someone who doesn't chase validation, someone who doesn't need reminders, they just execute. The problem is, you're still emotionally attached to the weaker version of yourself. You still think that version had value because they were trying, but let's be honest, trying isn't doing. That version was stuck in a cycle of excuses, and excuses don't build empires. Execution does. So stop lighting candles for the old you like they were some tragic hero. They weren't, they were the obstacle. And you have to bury them cold, hard, and without ceremony. Force yourself to move forward. Reinvent yourself so aggressively that the old you couldn't even recognize the person you become. That's how you win. That's how you rise. You don't tiptoe away from your past. You sever it. You declare, I am no longer that person. And then you back it up with relentless action. Because your future is not built by who you were. It's built by who you decide to become right now. Audit your circle. Ruthlessly. Look around you. Who are you talking to every day? Who are you texting, calling, listening to? Because if you're still surrounded by average thinkers, people who complain more than they create, people who'd rather gossip than grind, guess what? You're next. That's not just a possibility, it's a certainty. You're not immune to mediocrity. It's contagious. It spreads through lazy conversation, small goals, and broken mindset. And if you think you can keep high standards while entertaining low-value people, you're delusional. It doesn't work like that. Growth requires friction, progress requires pressure, and most of all, success demands separation. Cut the dead weight. I'm not talking about being cruel. I'm talking about being committed. Committed to the life you say you want. Committed to becoming the weapon you were meant to be. You can't drag anchors while trying to fly. That friend who never takes action, that cousin who always has an excuse, that coworker who says, be realistic. Those voices are poison. And every time you let their energy into your space, you're watering weeds in your garden of potential. Surround yourself with killers, not complainers. Winners, not wishers. Get around people who stretch your standards, not those who shrink your drive. Find the people who are so intense, so dialed in, that they make you feel uncomfortable in the best way possible. That's where growth lives. That's the environment that forces you to rise or run. The old version of you surrounded themselves with people who made them feel safe, accepted, comfortable. The new version of you doesn't need validation. The new you demands standards. And here's the brutal truth. Some of the people in your life only love the version of you that's beneath your potential. They like you soft, agreeable, relatable. Because the moment you level up, you become a mirror to their laziness. You become a threat to their excuses. And they will resist your growth. They will mock it. They'll try to drag you back. Don't let them. Evolve anyway. You're not here to be liked. You're here to dominate. And domination requires discipline. It requires emotional toughness. It requires choosing elevation over attachment. Weak company has no seat at your table. Not anymore. Because this table is reserved for warriors, visionaries, and executioners. People who are obsessed with greatness. People who push you, check you, and remind you that your goals are real and your excuses are garbage. So audit your circle. Audit your conversations. Audit your energy after every interaction. If they don't challenge you, change you, or charge you up, cut them loose. The old you tolerated average. The new you is allergic to it. Start acting like it. Upgrade your inputs. Garbage in, garbage out. It's not just a phrase, it's the hard truth you've been avoiding. You can't consume trash every day and expect to build a millionaire mindset. The old version of you sat around watching mindless videos, scrolling endlessly, drowning in noise disguised as entertainment. You called it unwinding. You called it staying informed. But let's call it what it really was. Distraction. The kind that kills momentum, the kind that robs you of your edge. You felt busy because your mind was constantly stimulated, but you weren't growing. You were just spinning your wheels, burning time, and feeding the exact habits that kept you average. The new you is starving for clarity and truth, not dopamine. The new you chooses discomfort over distraction. Instead of escaping through shallow content, you now immerse yourself in execution. You pick up books that challenge your thinking. You listen to mentors that don't sugarcoat the truth. You absorb content that punches you in the face and forces you to look in the mirror. That's how you build discipline. That's how you rewire your mind for dominance instead of decay. You have to become intentional with every single thing that enters your head. Because every thought you consume either sharpens your blade or dulls your ambition. It either reinforces greatness or reinforces mediocrity. There is no neutral input. Every word, every video, every conversation is building you up or breaking you down. So if you're still surrounding yourself with negativity, drama, fake success, or empty motivation, you're feeding poison to your potential. And make no mistake, it will show in your focus, in your finances, in your results. The future version of you, the one who's lethal, disciplined, successful, only thrives on high-quality fuel. Books that slap you awake, podcasts that hold you accountable, conversations that make you uncomfortable because they expose how much more you could be doing. That's the kind of content that should be on your plate daily. Not gossip, not fear porn, not highlight reels from people faking success. You want to win? Then feed your mind like a champion, period. You say you want to change, you say you want more, then prove it. by changing what you consume. Turn the distractions off, cut the noise, stop numbing your ambition with cheap entertainment. Because here's the truth. What you put into your mind today decides who you become tomorrow. And if you're serious about building a new version of yourself, it starts here, right now, with what you choose to watch, read, listen to, and speak about. Upgrade your inputs or stay exactly where you are. The choice is yours. Raise the bar on your identity. You're not trying anymore, you are. You're not hoping to change, you've already made the damn decision. From this moment forward, you own a new identity. One built on power, purpose, and execution. Because here's the truth. Success doesn't come to the person waiting to feel ready. It comes to the one who decides they're already worthy, already capable, already prepared to dominate, regardless of the fear, the doubt, or the outside noise. You don't get to climb to the top by hesitating at the bottom. Start moving like it. That means every step, every move, every decision must align with the new standard. Walk like you belong at the top. Speak like your words carry weight. Think like your time is priceless, because it is. Stop playing small to make others comfortable. Stop dimming your light to protect fragile egos. You've done that long enough. And where has it gotten you? It's time to walk into rooms like you own them, because if you don't act like you deserve it, no one else will ever hand it to you. You think billionaires walk into a room unsure of themselves? You think power respects hesitation? No. Power respects conviction. Reinvention doesn't start in your job title, your follower count, or your bank account. It starts in your head. It starts with the story you tell yourself when no one's watching. It starts with killing the identity of a trier and claiming the identity of a doer, a leader, a killer. Because when you change your identity, your behavior follows. And when your behavior changes, your results go with it. You're no longer the person who tries to stay consistent. You are consistent. You don't hope to be disciplined, you embody discipline. Stop giving yourself an escape hatch with language that weakens you. You don't get to say maybe when it comes to your goals. It's a full body yes or stay average. That's the line. No more halfway effort. No more excuses in disguise. You set the tone for how the world treats you by how you treat yourself. Every time you say, I'm trying, you give your subconscious permission to fail. But when you say, I am, your mind shifts. You start behaving like someone who deserves more. You make sharper decisions. You don't tolerate what the old you tolerated. You walk away from energy that drains you. You pursue things that build your name, not just fill your calendar. That's the bar now. You don't need motivation. You need to remember who the hell you are. Or better yet, who the hell you're becoming. So stand taller, speak louder, think sharper, execute faster. Because the old you couldn't handle the life you're building, but the new you, the one who shows up today, they're unstoppable. Get addicted to pain, not praise. The old you needed applause to move. You needed someone to validate your steps before you took them. You chased the dopamine hit that came with external approval. You waited for claps, for likes, for compliments, as if any of those ever built anything worth a damn. But now, you're done begging for recognition. You've seen the truth. You realize that comfort breeds weakness. Praise is a drug. It gets you high for a moment, then leaves you empty and dependent. But pain is the forge. Pain is what makes you unrecognizable to your past self. The pressure, the discomfort, the rejection, the failure, that's the real gym where greatness is carved. Pressure doesn't break the right people, it sharpens them. When everyone else is sprinting away from hard things, you turn toward them. When others quit after one no, you double down. You lean into the fire. You don't just endure pressure, you invite it. Because the new you knows that success isn't handed out to the most light. It's earned by the most relentless. You suffer forward, not aimlessly, but with purpose. Every setback is a rep. Every failure is a lesson. Every doubt they throw at you is fuel. You don't just take pain, you study it, absorb it, and turn it into execution. When you're done tying your self-worth to claps, the world can stay asleep to your mission. Let them underestimate you. Let them talk. You don't need them to believe. You need you to believe. Because when you chase pain, you're chasing growth. Growth lives in discomfort. It hides behind discipline. And it only reveals itself when you're willing to go further than most people would even think about going. That's the secret. Praise keeps you soft. Pain makes you sharp. The soft don't survive in the game of legacy. They get eaten alive by excuses and distractions, but you chose the hard path, the lonely path, the one with no applause, no spotlight, just sweat, scars, and sacrifice, and that's where transformation happens. That's where your real edge is built. Not when people say, good job, but when no one's watching, and you still go all in. So the next time you feel pain, don't pull back, don't numb it, don't escape. Dive deeper. Let it mold you. Let it break the old habits, the old fears, the old version of you that needed hand-holding to move. You don't need that anymore. What you need is pain with a purpose, resistance with a reason. You need the grind, the hunger, the battle. Because you're not here to be liked, you're here to be legendary. And legends are born in pain, not praise. Execute like your life depends on it, because it does. This isn't a metaphor, this isn't hype, this is life or death for your future. Every second you delay, every time you say, I'll start tomorrow, you're burying your potential one excuse at a time. You think time is on your side? It's not. Time is a relentless killer. It doesn't slow down. It doesn't pause for your self-doubt, your anxiety, your laziness. It keeps moving. And the people who win in life are the ones who move with it. The ones who execute when they're tired, who act when they're afraid, who show up even when they don't feel like it. Because they understand something the average person never will. Results don't come from motivation, they come from movement. Your life doesn't change when you get inspired, it changes when you get disciplined. The old version of you, that version loved the idea of success but hated the reality of effort. That version talked a big game but crumbled under pressure. That version is the reason you're still not where you want to be. You think someday you'll just wake up ready? That discipline will magically appear? It won't. You have to train it, you have to build it. Like a muscle, with reps. Reps of action, reps of decision, reps of pushing forward even when the doubt is screaming in your ear. People waste their lives waiting for perfect conditions. They say, I'll start when I'm ready. Newsflash. You'll never feel ready. Nobody ever does. The champions, the empire builders, the 1%, they're not superhuman. They just act faster. They decide quicker. They execute harder. While everyone else is still thinking about it, they've already done it, failed, adjusted, and leveled up. You're not losing because you're incapable. You're losing because you're slow. Because you hesitate, because you treat your future like it's optional. It's not. It's your duty. Your legacy doesn't care if you were tired. It doesn't care if you were scared. It doesn't care if you were going through something. It only records what you did. The scoreboard doesn't lie. It reflects effort. It reflects choices, and it reflects execution. That's why every day you need to wake up and move like your life depends on it, because it does. The gap between who you are and who you want to be is filled with brutal, relentless execution. No more pep talks, no more waiting, no more BS. It's time to pull the trigger every damn day. You don't get to become great by doing what's convenient. You get there by doing what's necessary. So stop negotiating with your goals. Stop asking how you feel. Stop operating from emotion and start operating from mission. The mission is clear. Execute like your life depends on it. Because it does. Listen to me. Comfort is a liar. The version of you that gets everything you ever wanted, that version doesn't exist yet. You must force it into reality. Every day, every rep, every brutal decision. So kill the old you, because the world is waiting for the real one to finally show up.